Governments at home and abroad are running out of money and running out of options. So what's a government in crisis to do in times like these? Take over the internet, of course. I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta, and with me, Bill Whittle and Scott Ott. Gentlemen, in Arizona this week, they just passed HB 2549, which states, and I quote, "It is unlawful for any person with intent to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, annoy, or offend to use any electronic or digital device and use any obscene, lewd, or profane language or suggest any lewd or lascivious act." Bill, if Governor Brewer signs this bill into law, it will be illegal simply to offend somebody on the internet in Arizona. What could go wrong with that?
Well, if it's terrify, intimidate, annoy, something, or offend, and, that's the end of Trifecta in Arizona anyway. I would be amazed if she signs it. I got a chance to interview her. She struck me as having a pretty good grounding in our basic freedoms and our basic understanding. As a matter of fact, I have to say that of all the things that are wrong about this, the thing that surprises me the most is that it's actually happening in Arizona. Arizona seems to be leading the nation in so many sort of pro-freedom individual rights ways. They're certainly defending the border against the will of the federal government, whose job it really is. So I find that a little shocking. But one of the things that is the mark of our age is this idea that no one can have their little feelings get hurt, and guess what? They get hurt anyway. So I think it's I'm again it.
His bill hurts my feelings. Try and get that prosecuted. Scott, across the pond, as if our British friends didn't have enough trouble right now, Parliament is, and this is a quote, preparing a major expansion of the government's powers to monitor the email exchanges and website visits of every person in the UK. Now, the Brits are usually just a few years ahead of us on this kind of stupid, aren't they?
Well, what I was wondering when I first heard this story is I can't keep up with reading my own email. How many people are they going to have to hire in order to keep up with reading everybody's email? Yeah. I need someone to read my email. And frankly, that whole deal with Arizona, I think the only reason they're making that law is you can't offend somebody in Arizona on the internet, because on the internet you can't really challenge somebody to a proper duel. You have to do it face to face. And so I think that's what they're looking for there in freedom-loving Arizona. Yeah, Europe is ahead of us on these things, but we're running to catch up.
Yeah, we're running out of breath. Bill, the Arizona law, and this is the part I found most interesting, it's being sold as part of an anti-bullying campaign. So come on, what's wrong with protecting the innocent from bullies?
Well, first of all, those little four-eyed little twerps deserve everything they're going to get. I was one of those little four-eyed little twerps, so please hold the hate mail. Listen, Steve, this idea that there's a bullying epidemic, that thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of children killed each year by bullies on the playground, massacre killing fields of America, is a little overblown, I think. I don't know that there was ever a time in human history, forget American history, where bullyism didn't exist. Bullying and learning how to deal with bullies and just plain taking your emotional lumps, if not physical lumps, is part of growing up. And I don't know that there's a way to change that. I really, truly don't. I think that is part of the young adolescent or childish way of defining your own personality. And it certainly makes you stronger. I mean, this is your first real opportunity to deal with hardships in life, right? I mean, that's really what it is. Certainly kids aren't being killed by bullies. If anything, they're killing themselves. And that tells me that this whole self-esteem movement has got it exactly backwards. If your whole goal is to protect people from getting their feelings hurt from age 1 to whenever, that's not going to succeed. If, on the other hand, your goal is to teach children how to deal with things, here's a little government program we could throw $1 billion behind. Remember, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me? Remember, that was a mantra? What that really said was, be your own person. Don't let these people bother you. So I think it's just a power grab.
Absolutely. Scott, we have the 1996 Internet Censorship Bill that the Supreme Court struck down. The FCC is demanding net neutrality without any legal authority from Congress. This new bill in Arizona, the one in the UK, they just don't stop coming after the Internet. One day, are we going to lose the status?
No, I don't think we're going to lose, but I don't think that the statists will ever give up. I think that they will continue to pursue this agenda because they know what's better for us than we do, and so they're trying to protect us from everything that could possibly go wrong. You know, I was thinking if it weren't for bullying, I'll bet you the three of us wouldn't have developed the ability to say something quickly and get out in 30 seconds.
Well done. Folks, back in 1991, Boris Yeltsin and the Russian people put a stop to the hardliner Soviet coup, armed with nothing more than fax machines. And governments around the world took notice of that, especially in China. 20 years later, now we have the internet, and billions of people are armed with smartphone cameras and camcorders, tablets and laptops, all wired to that internet 24/7. So never in the history of the world have ordinary citizens been so well armed to fight and resist tyranny. And do you really think our betters want to let it stay that way? Stay on guards, friends. For PJTV, I'm Steve Green.